Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Trading with OC. Guys, you got me all like crazy trying to get that little crown and number. Let me know how you guys are doing it. Come on, I see you guys just doing it, and I didn't know how to get it out. Oh man, that is just fantastic. Get me just punching numbers in here. So I need a tutorial. So let's get it started. Let me get started with you guys because you guys are the most amazing part of the show. And let's go all the way up in here. And oh, I cannot see you, but there was Alexandra GG. What is up, Alexandra? Thank you so much for joining and stopping by. J Violet, how's it going, my friend? Welcome to the Piper Academy. JB, what is up, bro? Who else we got in here? We have Jesse. What is up, Jesse? We have All Set in the house. What is up, All Set? By the way, Jesse, thank you so much also for stopping by. I know it's pretty late for you, so thank you very much. All Set, how is it going, brother? Pulling up a chair. Nice. Why? Because of the long intro? I need to change that, right? Maybe I can do a 1 minute intro. Maybe I think that'll be better because I'm also kind of like just standing in here. By the way, have you seen that I am wearing my crop top? Let me give you, you see that? And then my wife is just looking at me like, you weirdo. No, I'm just kidding. It's just same color, right? Same color, so kind of like looks like it. But yeah, she gave me the look. Just if you know, we're working in the same room, the same office at this point, so I think that's fantastic. I cannot miss her looks now. Love it. So who else we got in the chat, guys? All Said, what is up, bro? Alexandra, of course, Jesse, and J Violet. All Said, JP, am I missing anyone? I don't think so. All right, guys, I need a tutorial how to get that little thing. That is amazing. Please, somebody, just guide me through it. Alexandra said that leaderboard, but how do I pull it up? I need to know. It's killing me from inside. All right. So I was number one. Love it. All right. So today, as promised, we're going to be going into a practice only setups for today. We're going to be practicing on the volume indicators and, of course, the rest of the indicators that we have. Let me just get my glasses before you guys know my real identity, right? Perfect. All right. And then we're just going to be seeing how they played out. I think it's a fantastic day. We just have a couple of numbers. We went over retracement markets, and then we could be looking for some supports or some shelves as we have named it, right? Let me see. In fact, I think I can edit now. This 1 second. Can I do it? Oh, yeah. All right. Now I'm not that far into cutting out my hands. Let me see. Maybe this one too. Oh, it's pretty far away. There we go. Well, let's cut out there. All right. Nonetheless, I think that's it. Let's jump into the... Hey, what's up? We have Franny Tag. What is up, bro? Right before I jump in, Caliphant. What is up, Caliphant? Nice to have you around. Let's get it. Let's take a look at a couple of things. Guys, I want you guys to float in the side chat with things that you're looking for or looking at, right? It could be grass, it could be ass, it could be XRP, it could be Bybit, it could be gold. Let me know, guys. Sorry, let me know. All right, so let's see. Let's go into my charts. Let's get started with virtuals. I know virtuals are a little popular right now. We'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, you guys let me know what charts are you looking at. If not, just give me your favorite asset. I want to know what is your favorite asset. All right, so on virtuals, let's take a look at the 4 hours. We're having, by the way, virtuals is looking pretty good, no, to be honest. We had a previous trend line in here with 2 touches, right? Maybe we can start making this one in here. Not quite there yet, right? And that is because we have not just yet had that flip of our oscillator, right? Let's also take a look at our flip of the ribbon. Let's see, where's our ribbon? In here. And we're almost front running that flip of the ribbon in here, right? We're not there yet. We could pierce through, and we pierce through. Most likely we're gonna be having a head and shoulders. And in that case, we will need to adjust our neckline and then look for a possible breakout to the downside. Nonetheless, it's not there yet, but we're applying the concept of pattern morphology. All right, so let's see. F Ethereum, hashtag F Ethereum, love it. Absolutely, JR, long it. Let's see, what is it, JR? What's up, JR? By the way, welcome, my friend. Nice to have you here. Let's see. Hi, Kelly. Pump those likes. Absolutely pump those likes, guys. Fart coin. All right, let's take a look at fart coin then. Let me note them. All right, let me do. All right, it's gonna be fart coin. Then it's gonna be what is it? Ethereum hashtag FETH. What else we have in here? Am I missing somebody's? Let's see. I think I saw something here. What was it? Penny. Anything else? All right, maybe not. All right, in the meantime, that's what we're gonna be looking for. But flood it in. Spam the thing here. All right, so in the meantime, that's what we're gonna be looking for. So let's go to virtual. Let's finish this up, and of course, let's add our volume indicators. I'm gonna get started with my indicators, right? So the ones that I usually use. That is my predictive ranges, and of course, you guessed it, the volume profile from ChartPrime. As you can see, it's a little bit chunky on my end, right? So let me double click it. Let's remember that we can adjust how many candles we can add to those. That is 30. Let's do, I don't know, for 35, something around that ballpark. I think that will be much better. Perfect. I think this really fits what I'm looking for. All right, so we have a possible rejection in here. We're holding this two bottom trend lines so far. How is our oscillator doing? Perfect. We are right there at the center. Usually when we hit centers, we could start seeing some reactions, right? I mean, it's not a definitely reaction, but usually it takes us to some pauses, right? Some flat process of whatever continuation. In this case, hopefully it's a bullish continuation, but we'll see how that plays out. So right now, where is the biggest disparity zone? Right here. Where is my money flow POC? Let's see. It is not showing my money flow POC. All right, maybe. Oh yeah, it is. It's just overlapping this thing. All right, perfect. Sorry, I was just missing it. It is right there with the predictive range, this red aligning here. So let's also bring up other indicators. So let's go for the free ones. All right, this it's going to be this one in here. I'm gonna be grabbing all the way from behind, or from here just a slightly bit upwards all the way, and I don't care where I set it up, right? So that's gonna be it. So where is the important part? Where is the important shelf in here, right? So as you can see, we're gonna be looking for dips and highs, right? Where is my height? What is my dip? What is my high? What is the dip? What is the height? I will be calling it like that, right? And I'm going to be throwing a couple of rays in here. Let's see. This is it. No, that's a 2-point ray. What is horizontal ray? Perfect. So right there, I would say maybe here. Oh, come on. I need to click it over and over. All right. Well, then let's do that. And of course, the interior of those valleys. So this is it. All right, let's go for another rating here. I want to grab this itty bitty part because I just grabbed those two together. All right, and finally this valley. All right, I set a bunch of zones in there. All right, I'm gonna now start just pruning them. I'm not gonna be using all of those, of course not, right? But so far, I'm going to be using the ones that surround my environment. So what can I do, or how can I just do it? Just do it a little circle and just use your dynamic reactor or SMA combo to have a limit. Just go slightly below and slightly above, whatever it is the case, right? So if your dynamic reactor or your SMA combo is at the top, again, just give it a little wiggle room at the top or at the bottom based on your dynamic reactor or your SMA combo, right? At that point, I think we can just get rid of this indicator, right? Let's just not make a mess. I think this is good enough. Now, I'm gonna be just getting rid of just the lines that I don't longer need. This one is important. Maybe I can consider just leaving it there, right? Why? Because it's calling out perfectly that bounce with the dynamic reactor, right? Let's see this other one, which is also pretty neat. Look at that. This one caught it to the T. Look at that. I mean, wow, that was a very nice catch, right? Right with the dynamic reactor. Dynamic reactor really low there, but that's what we use it to get the zones, right? So breakout retest, again, it was a very nice cut, not fantastic, right? But very nice still. And then off we go. Where are we seeing some support? Perfect. We have trendline support. We have, which is this trend line we manually made, all right? We have volume shelf support, all right? What else do we have? Well, then let's use our indicators, right? I mean, why do we just don't make our life that much easier? Let's bring up, do we have anything else? Oh, engulfing candles, all right? ×2, so 2 of those. Do we have another support zone? Yes, I do have it in here. Look at that, very nice support zone, right? Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, predictive range in a loud order block. This is a very equilibrated order block, right? So it's gonna both act as a support and as a resistance. So how can I act as a support if it's above the price action? Well, if it breaks through, it acts as a support, all right? Another thing that this happens is as we go through, we might have some rejections and we could hold or we stand a couple of hits up above there. Weird noises. All right, weird noises. Sorry about that. All right. So it's just I'm also in the middle of the remodeling the house, so it's also construction people around me. So if you hear it's a bang bang, let me know. All right, yeah, number 2. You don't gotta tell me, Jesse Lo. I know what I am. Guys, you seriously need to let me know how you do that. Hey, by the way, Pennywise, what is up, brother? Oh, he has a poltergeist, sort of, but that poltergeist just charged me, man, per day. All right, love it, yeah, bro, you're all fine. All right, so what are we looking for here? Where we rejected out of that order block. In fact, that order block created on the rejection here and is being fitting on the possibility to break, retest, and if we go for a double top. So that's what we're going to be keeping so far. All right, we're having a rejection so far. We're still bullish, right? We're still bullish. We are keep trending within the trend line, and we're not going to change that. That's not going to change until we break our retest. Off we go, and then we're going to analyze the first breakout retest. All right, and then if we hold it or go all the way up in here, right here is where everything can happen. All right, but as long as we keep in mind the breakout retest, we're gonna go for whatever is the first retest happening. All right, like for example in here, right in here. And by the way, let me do something really quick. I'm gonna double click in here, and I just noticed that my predictive ranges has the fill. Let me just remove it and save it, because that adds a little more clarity of what I'm expecting, right? What I'm looking for. Perfect. So at this point, what could I be looking for? Let me just get rid of as many things as I can. All right, so we have a clean perspective here, clean overview. All right, so at this point, anything can happen. Let's do one more trick before we move on. All right, remember the box thing. We all the way down, all the way up, and then we extend it, right? Why are we extending it? We're looking for 2 zones. Half of it, which is already within in this range, because we have a arrow, and then a third somewhere around here in here, right? So you have one area, another section very closely, another one also very closely, right? They're roughly in the same ballpark. I mean, I even adjust them just slightly better like that. All right, don't be that. You don't need to be that exact, right? As long as you can identify the third. And look at that. That third, oh, come on. That third in here is very close to our shelf in here. So have we hit it? Yes, we have hit it. Just like we hit it off somewhere around here, right? So who gives if we are in this same ballpark? What is it? The breakout, the big movement, and then the retracement for a third of that retracement, that move, right? Let's see if we can do the same. Most likely we're going to be able to. All right. For some reason, I messed it up. And what is it? A third somewhere around here, I would say. And very close. Look at that. Also very close to our line. So we did have that breakout retest. But here's the thing. What's going to happen right now? It's not that we know, but we can start just looking on what to do, all right? The point is that we have a big support, right? A fairly big support based on the volume profile, right? And also we have a trend line, a support line from our market dynamics, and of course our little cheat sheet in here that is telling us that we should be bouncing at a third of a full movement, right? Which is pretty cool. But how are we going to be applying? Are we going right straight into with that long? I would not say so, because we don't have flip of the ribbon. I would like to see it like just now. And by the way, if you're trying to jump in here, I will be up with you, all right? Don't get me wrong. This is strong enough for me to take this long and pretend that this is a dead cat bounce, all right? Let's add our stop loss right below, a little bit of a wiggle room, and we're not gonna be entering with a full position. This is a half of a position scenario, right? Where to? Previous highs, maybe at the center of the order block, right? And that's gonna be it. Maybe entering right now, executing right now. I rather let go the first movement, but this is also a valid, oh, it's moving, perfect. It's a valid scenario. Why? Because we are in that big support area, right? We don't have the flip of the ribbon, but look at that. We're almost there. We're almost there and went from front running it for maybe TP number 1 in here below our area of heights, right? To create maybe a dead cat bounce, right? Because we have not yet put a lower low. We just have put a low. If we put a lower high, the next thing is going to be a lower low. But we still don't know. Remember, morphology. This can easily turn into a range that we have seen in the past, all right? Or it can turn into a rounded top, and then we can short the breakout, right? So we need to let it develop. But so far, a long right here could be a good position. In fact, hopefully you guys had a chance to take it. I did not, and I'm not going to be able to take, if they're happening like right away, I will not be able to take them because we are live right now, all right? What's going to be the point in here on taking the risk? It is that you're doing just half of it in case it goes up in 1 or 2 candle scenario. Why? Because we are seeing it that it had happened, all right? What's going to happen, and this is where I started telling you that we need to give it a little bit time, right? And see what's going to play it out the first. Let me just get rid of this thing here. Well, let me just try to move it to my left. There we go. Let's just leave it as is. And then we're going to be giving it maybe a little time. So why are we going to be giving it a little time? To see if this is just a little hiccup for continuing downwards. If we continue downwards, we have a very, very empty zone in here to fall. Let's see what our indicators tell us about that area, right? Nothing in here, nothing in here, nothing in here, man. And all right, we have a hint. This is our support and resistances. So it's support, all right? If I have a support in here, which is also very close to this support, which is not going to be valid, right? Or they could be invalidating each other. Why? Because we're having support, but at the same time we're breaking it, and then we're holding it, but at the same time we're kind of like breaking the other one, if that makes sense, right? But nonetheless, we're going to be waiting for that reaction, maybe breakout, retest, and then short it at the trend line in your area of resistance, right? Somewhere around here. And then what happens? Off we go. All right. So this is in the case that we first break to the right, and break downwards to the right, if that makes sense. All right. Harp, what is up, brother? Nice to have you around, my friend. Hey, what's up? CF90, what is up, bro? Nice to have you around. Thank you for joining, guys. Love it, love it. All right. So what else are we expecting? What if it goes up? Remember, theoretically, we open up a position already, right? What if this thing goes up? Perfect, that's fine. Let it go up. Where are we going to be looking for? Maybe TP1 and holding it for the reversal, right? If that case, look at that, we're aiming at the same overall ballpark, all right? So the plan is the same. But we longed it till here, all right? And in that case, we're going to be doing something like that. You see it? Right there. You see it? All right. So if that is the case, well, then we just give it that little time. Remember, we're already longing it. We are on profits. We are theoretically in profits. At this point, we take TP number 1 and hedge it with half of a position again, because we don't know if it's going to have a double top. How do we start preparing for it? Of course, looking at our oscillator. So if we go up, most likely we're going to have that flip of the ribbon, right? And then, or vanilla flip of the ribbon, something like that, all right? Something like that. And then going back downwards to the area that we expected. Maybe slightly bit upwards in here, right? If this is the case, because now we have a closer resistance or support, well, then at this point we have V-shaped recovery, high, not higher than the previous ranging zone. If you look at it an inverted way, right? If we're doing this, where is it? There we go, right? Little range, V-shaped recovery, high, not higher than the previous range. This gives us what? 70% chances of ranging. You see that? Perfect. Now we're planning to a possible range, or a dead cat bounce if we put a higher high and a higher low. But remember, this is inverted, so a lower low and a lower high. Again, pattern morphology. Everything that we have learned, we are lining it up and making a plan for whatever it happens. All right. So sometimes you're gonna miss a couple of trades, and I want to show you one. All right. I think that was, let me see, that was in here. Not really. Where was it? I missed that entry, and it was a good one. Let me see. I really want to show you. I don't remember where I left it out. XRP. This one also played out fantastically. You guys remember the XRP trade? Oh yeah, I think this was it. Yes, this was it. All right, this is one. Don't get me wrong. I still have Fartcoin and Ethereum in line, but I want to show you what it went wrong here. First of all, we called out the top fantastically for the short. It was so almost so perfect that we did not, or I did not enter. Why? Because I usually set my alerts and look away, right? This was the start of the area, right? And what happened? It went slightly, man. Come on, sense of difference. 43.35 to 46.67. Oh man. Well, it happens. It happens, right? So I did not enter here, so I was looking for the reversal trade. Yes, I mean, I know I have the SMA combo and dynamic reactor, right? But what's going on in here? Like, how do you catch that top? Let's get started. First, because we had support and resistances. Then because we were looking for a possible retracement in these areas because we were moving strongly, all right? Maybe we were expecting, remember, that sweep of the highs. This one caught me a little bit by surprise. We were having a big body candle here, right? So we knew that we needed some cooling off momentum here, right? But what happened here? I mean, yeah, the losing the strength, crossing this line, but where did that exactly got us to? Crossing the line, it's a little late, isn't it? So, I mean, yes, going down, the first diamond, amazing diamond change. The second diamond, amazing diamond change. You see that? Diamond reaction. Fantastic. But for me, where is my peak performance? I don't see peak performance, right? So for me, it doesn't have the requirements for taking the trade. Taking the trade after I have lost the entry. Why? Because we were expecting this high to be taken. And that is because we had a very nice area of confluence at the top. All right? Nonetheless, it did not hit it up. out there. I mean, it would have been way better if we would have aimed at the center of that liquidity zone. That's it. It's gone. Next time we'll do that, right? But at this point, well, the entry is gone. Our entry is gone. So how do you maybe chase after the price without really chasing after the price? In this case, I was trying to, but I just did not have any, I mean, anything playing in here. I was expecting maybe a peak performance diamond there, right? But Pepe, all right, let's add Pepe to the thing here. What else do we have? VVV. Oh man, that will be the third time I do VVV today. All right, and what else? I think that's gonna be it. All right. So, well, in this case, too late. I mean, too bad. I had to suck it up, right? Why? Because I did not have the means to catch the trade after it was too late. For me, this is just too late. All right. Maybe if I would have looked into it, next diamond here, going up, reversal, back down, but too risky, all right? So let me just clear this up, and let's try to do not revenge trading, but do we have a possible scenario of entry? We did have it in here, right? We are back above the dynamic reactor, perfect. We're back of bullishness, right? We already have not a peak performance, and we have higher highs and higher lows so far, right? So is this an entry? It's hard to say it, but I would say it, yes. Why am I looking for an entry? Actually, it's a little dubious. I'm front running the diamond, the double diamond here that could play it out like this. All right. So if I'm gonna be doing that, that would have been a quarter of an entry. All right. So let's go for that long position. Oh, it's moving on me, man. All right, perfect. That's it. Right here, the previous stop. Let's do this a little more professional. Let's grab our trend lines. Perfect. And remember, we're missing what we're here to practice for, and we need it. That's going to be the volume indicator. So I'm going to go farther back up to see maybe this is basically a good area. I'm going to grab it here for my favorites. Measure from here, why not, all the way to whatever is it. And my support, perfect. Look at that area right here. Look at that POC, point of control. Perfect point of control. Am I chasing after a price? Absolutely, yeah. All right. What else am I looking for? Remember, let's add that array here at the top and at the bottom. Where is it? Oh, come on. Yeah, but this thing is just on the way. Maybe I can just do that. But he had this itty bitty valley, which is not really a valley, right? It may be, I don't know. I don't see anything else in here, but whatever. So what's going to be my trading zone right here? And I should be right now not in profits. Whereas my my stop loss in here, my stop loss is very, very bad, right? I still, let's see if I can have anything else. Not really, other than some support, sorry, some trend lines in here. Maybe I can calculate it. And by the way, it's not going to be, oh, right now, so far an entry. We need to wait for more information, right? So despite I really want to, I'm in the middle of a couple of things. I do have my trend line here. I do have a resistance here. So this is going to be my next TP number one. I need one more candle, and most likely that more candle will be taking me somewhere around here, maybe with a pullback, and then going back up, right? How do I know it? It's not that I know, but look at the size of the candles right now. Look at the, let me zoom in and let me get rid of everything. Look at how the candles are reacting. I had one candle here. Look at the other candle. Look at the other candle. They're overlapping, right? And they're kind of like covering each other. Even in here. Well, in this one, in this case, it wasn't. But look at this too, right? Look at this too. Look at this too. So I am expecting maybe this one to maybe go up and then have a bigger one in here with a better entry, closed, and then go farther back up. Nonetheless, our big resistance for TP number one, it is in here. That's why we're planning to maybe chase after the price. In this case, maybe we can go for a little bit more in here, right? So this will be, once again, quarter of a position, and we're aiming for 1.1 reward ratio. this is going to be a very dangerous trade to take. All right. So let's see what our oscillator tells us. Flip of the ribbon almost there, but this is not quite any flip of the ribbon. It's looking like a possible goose head, right? What is a goose head does usually do something like that, or, well, it is an inverted goose head, which means moving up, little retracement, further move before the big retracement. So maybe this could be a little bit exaggerated. All right, so that one would be in here, and as you can see, it is falling in place with what I'm expecting out of those candles. But still, we're playing our ads with 1/4 of a position. If this is a 1/4, that means that we can re-add another fourth in here, right? Basically dropping down our entry somewhere around there if we get the chance. All right, so that is a smart move. Perfect. Let's go and let's take a look at the ones that you guys are looking at. Let's get started. Oh, it's moving nice in profits. All right, let's take a look at what was it? I got it right here. Fart coin. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I removed it. All right, fart coin. I hate when that happens. Where is it? Oh, it is right here. Perfect. Fart coin, not looking that good. We have some bullish divergence. We did not play it out. Look at big body candle going through. Usually that is a confirmed breakout, right? So let's see. Let me just remove everything. Let's see how that looks all across the place, right? It looks actually good. Let's see, trend line. I think this is gonna be a good one. Maybe like that. That's fine, I think. And then let's do another trend line somewhere. Ooh, this is a little bit more difficult. Why? Because we have two possibilities. We can do this one here, which breakout, or we can go for something like with the median. Something like that. So I think this is good enough. It's catching this low. It's catching weight. Not quite there. I'm not liking it just now. I think it's got to be something like that. Yep. So it's catching this low, catching this low, catching this low, acting as a resistance, then acting again as a resistance, right? So we have a buffering zone here. We are losing the trend line. All right. Big body candle, yes, bigger than the previous ones. Sort of. Yep, big body candle going through the zero line. It's not about the breakout. It's about your retest and a goose head for a further continuation downwards. Let's see, do we have anything in here? Let's add our volume indicators. First, in this case, I'm going to be adding this one in here. So do I have some ranging zones all the way down here? Do I have some support? Yes. What is this? Low disparity and big volume. Oh man, this is looking actually as a fake out, right? So as a fake out, that's what we did in here. We almost have the flip of the ribbon. Oh man, I don't know. We'll see. Well, let's add more into this. Let's add our volume indicator, right? I want a little bit more, because if I just measure here from there, of course, everything is going to be all the way down there. And if I just push it all the way here, I think, well, it's not that bad. But again, I already know that is an area of interest, right? So I would have to go all the way back in here to see how that reacted, and everything played out somewhere around here. Nothing here, nothing here, a little bit. Look at that in there and in there. So same areas, and they are pairing very nicely. Let's see. Ray. So we have this high. That's yep. What is it? My other ray. Come on. Why do I have 2-point rays? There's another one in here. Another ray somewhere around here. And look at that. We already have it marked in here. So here is the deal in here. We don't have quite yet the flip of the ribbon. It's not looking like it really wants to flip up. We're blue. How do we locate our entries? As always, right? So first we can draw a trend line, either trend line you like, any of those. All right. At this point, it really doesn't matter, right? What are we expecting, or what we want to see? We want to see a breakout, maybe retest, and off we go, right? maybe my breakout's a little bit exaggerated. Maybe we're looking at something like that, all right? But until we don't flat out to my right, I'm not going to be able to call it for a long. Yes, we haven't broke technically these lows. We have a flip of the ribbon. I need to start breaking through, and maybe in that candle closing back above the Firecoin dynamic reactor, maybe I can jump in for my TP number 1 breakout retest. Off we go. All right. But so far, it is a little bit hard to say. We need to look for that bottoming pattern, just like we did in here, right? Look at that. And what do we look for? It's not about your breakout, it's about your retest, and off we go. I think we're more into something like this, right? Because of the V shape that I'm seeing here. This could be this part, right? But a little bit more exaggerated, a little bit more shaky. So what happened here? Same thing, right? In this case, this trend line did not play out that well. Remember, that's why we draw 2 trend lines in here, but they basically nailed the same zone at this part. So what else? Right here, we don't have much until we have the breakout. In this case, we did not have the breakout retest. Too bad. And then off we go. Once again, you can maybe enter for half a position of your breakout. At your right here, maybe just take 50% out. And then on the retracement, you go back in with that movement. So far, this could be an entry for a long, but we're already risking it on the previous coin. So depending, you want to risk it with a quarter of a position, risk it with a half of a position. If you're going to risk it in here, let's go for a long right there. Let me set my stop loss in here, my wiggle room, right? And then where am I going to be aiming? Right there. Is it worth it? No, it is not. Risk reward wise, it is not worth it. I need to see some bottoming structure here, right? You can take it. Again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money, right? And this could go to the moon, which I don't think so, right? But we need to see some bottoming patterns right there. Maybe we can try it on the 15 minutes and see if there's something else, but I believe that that will be just going too in depth. All right. Frank the Tank, Jared, what's up, my friend? Well, we also have Retro Mike in the house. What is up, bro? XBT. Let's take a look at that one. All right. We have Ethereum. Hashtag F Ethereum. Let's do it. Why not? Let's do first Ethereum, then let's do the next one. Let me just clear this up. In fact, it played out very nicely because remember the gold on these kind of patterns. Remember, we were expecting this and then bouncing here. But what happened? Ooh, we have the fake out. Nice, still nice. And then breakout retest. Off we go. Breakout retest. Off we go. Nice to previous highs. Nailed it. Remember that we draw those patterns to trade on the breakouts or on the limits on breakout retest, right? So far, we're still ranging. Let's go for that ranging here. Let's measure it. Oh, come on. There we go. Much better. All right. We have a range. We're at the top of the range. We're having a flip of the ribbon in here. We need to be a little bit careful. It could be something like that because we are feeling a little bit toppy here. Let's zoom out because there we go. We already have been on these areas before. I would be just waiting for breakout retest. This pattern in here, which is a bullish flag or a bullish pennant, give me enough. I don't know. Made me think that we could be breaking through. We're pretty bullish. We're still above the zero line, so we could be expecting. We should be expecting longs, but we don't buy the tops of it, right? So your entry was right there, as it 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 was right there, so on and so forth, all right? So I need to wait for breakout retest after you go or rejection. And if I hold it, retest, off we go. All right. So far, so good. Let's see. Let's add our volume indicator right now. Let's see how that goes. I'm going to go and grab it from here. And I'm going to be integrating this other part that could be giving me other areas of interest a little bit back in the past. All right. So my POC is somewhere around here. The bulk of it is between here and there. All right. So in fact, Where is our valley? Our valley is all the way here, so that will be our next possible resistance for a TP number 1 if we break our retest, right? But so far, not much to see there. Hey, what's up, Mark Dutch? Welcome, my friend. Nice to have you around, buddy. All right, let's do our race. Where are my race? Right here, horizontal race. A top. I mean, we have another one in here, but I don't know, man. Maybe I just can use the median. Another top, a low. Do we have any other valley? Just way too. I mean, it is fantastic, but I think I'm gonna just average this one out in here and just get rid of this one and call it the zone. What else we have? A valley here with a dynamic reactor, right? And a shelf top in there. And I think that's gonna be mostly it. There we go. I think let's just leave it as is because, I mean, we don't have much at the top. So we have less resistance at the top than support at the bottom. So it would make sense to break out, retest, off we go in here, all right? Do you want to really long the top? I would say just hold it. If we have a retracement to dynamic reactor where it's going to be close to your support area, well, then go for it. I mean, that will be a perfect scenario, right? I'm not telling you that it's guaranteed to play it out, but it's a much better scenario. Another thing is that we have a reaction zone in here, we have a resistance, and we have a trend line. The next area for bouncing, as our volume area volume area shows us, right? It's somewhere around here for a better entry. So far, we're going to be waiting for breakout retest or rejection retest. Off we go. All right. So far, we need to wait for Ethereum, hashtag Ethereum. So then you mentioned, what did we mention here? Let me see. Oh, if it's holds or reject, I don't know. I think it's going to reject, but it's hard to tell. I mean, I don't really care if it's going to do whatever because we can trade whatever it happens. Breakout, retest, you're long it in here, and off we go. You have some rejection in here. Perfect. You just wait for dynamic reactor, area of support, and long it again. It doesn't matter. When we start losing the dynamic reactor like that, oh yeah, now we're looking for shorts, but not quite yet. Time is ticking. Yes, I know the bump is set up timer, but we still have some time. So we need to take advantage of it as we can. You said AIXBT, right? Let's see, AIXBT. And we got it right here. Let's add it. Oh, a little bit like the same game that we have with Ethereum, but a little bit more stable. I mean, if we go for our area of ranging area, what is it? Where are you? Where are you? I have it in favorites. Regression tool. Let's measure it from here to the last point. Perfect. We are at the top. We also have a couple of fake outs, but this one is looking a little bit more juicy. Why? Look at the pattern that we have. That is a bull flag, right? Big pull, flagging out, boom shakalaka, big pull, flagging out, ooh, boom shakalaka. Hopefully we can have a previous retrace or a previous high retracement for us to get an entry. But so far, how can I tell you to buy the tops, man? I just can't. I wouldn't tell you to do so then, right? But I mean, it's true that this could go away. I mean, it's true that, right here, all right, what do we do? Well, then, when it's up there, most likely we're going to be shorting it, right? But nonetheless, we can measure the full movement and look for the 1/3 of that movement, which is somewhere around here, right? And then looking for that big retracement, right? And then see what happens here, which I believe we're going to be mimicking that in there. Just as we break through this range, use it as support, and then off we go. So far, I know the FOMO is there, guys. I know I want to jump in, but we already have done it once. We cannot just be gambling our money, right? So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and do it with Ethereum, be my guest, right? I'm not going to tell you not to. But if you already did it before, go close that one. All right? So if you're going to be gambling, just gamble a little bit just for fun. Do not go everything on gamble. All right? So Clefen looks like it's trying to break out. Yes, it's trying to. But again, I mean, I don't know. Usually we hit the tops and then is this going to be a double top? That's why we need to wait for that big body kind of breakout, retest, maybe off we go, right? So I'm hesitant right now. It's looking bullish. We are bullish, right? I mean, we are above the zero line, candles green. How is our RSI? Not looking that bad, not looking bad at all. In fact, we are at the top, kind of like making that goose hit. Oof, careful here. What happened before? Look at that. That big kind of like a whale-ish head, right? What happened before that whale-ish head? Ooh, retracement, right? So I rather wait for that retracement, right? Or whatever it needs to do. So just give it some time. Don't gamble on Ethereum. Yeah, don't gamble on it. Although I do still have some high hope for Ethereum. Hashtag F Ethereum. I know. But when it moves, it moves. So maybe DCA could be the way to go with Ethereum. All right. Let's take a look at what was the last one? Pepe. Let's see if we have some time. Still expecting a dump with the next 48 hours. Dodge your own. I love it, Mark Dodge. Love it, bro. That was amazing. Dodge your own research. Abso-freaking-lutely. Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, it is feeling toppy, right? Everything is kind of like at the top or flipping down or breaking through, but we're still bullish. So we need to take that with a little bit of tweezers. Why? Because look at what happens in here. And I'm not going against your opinion. I do also have that open. I mean, I also think that we could have a dump within the 24 hours. I mean, completely agree with you, right? And I support your answer. Oh, we don't have enough in here, but let's see. Maybe we can do it on Ethereum, on hashtag FETH. Right? What happens when we're highly bullish? We topped out, and instead of going nuts, well, we hover, right? And then boom. So this one is what we're expecting, what we hold, looking for some lows, and when we break back above, that's your chance. That's your chance, all right? You go back into the game. So AIXPT is not gonna be the exception. I mean, this is not such a great movement, right? I mean, yeah, of course, because we're at the bottom. This is a low cap volume. But if this is it, we want to see that here and then a range, or that range that I think is gonna play it out here, above here, right? Above the what was it, the 200? Right in between these highs and these lows. You see that? So that's a very powerful support or resistance, depending on how you see it. Just be careful with Ethereum, I would say. Sorry, AIXPT, right? I'd rather see breakout retest, looking for my oscillator, maybe to flip back down, wait for it to bounce back up, right? Let's actually look at our free favorite oscillator. We have, oh boy, look at that, man. Peak performance. And I need to see the diamond. I want to see the next peak performance, my possible entry, my next possible entry, and then off I go, right? Yeah, so not an area of entering right there. Let's wrap it up with Pepe, and that is going to be the class for today. Pepe USDT. Once again, let's add our volume indicator. Where are we? Where do we have some other volume that we can reference back from? All right, let's grab those that volume node somewhere. I would say somewhere around here to the end. I know this is the bulk of the thing, but what I'm interested is in this in this zone. So a peak. Come on, where is it? And I always lose it. Another peak. I'm gonna be ignoring that value because they're just too close to each other. And then what do I have in here? Maybe another peak. Not sure. Or whatever. I'm gonna call it out that the peak. And then we can add other indicators. Where's my other PBR? In this case, it's not that chunky. Right? I mean, I don't care. I can just zoom in. I'm on ranging zones, right? Where's my smart money entry? In here. Oh, not really. Look at what's happening. Remember what I showed you that I lost that opportunity because there was no entry point for me? This could be one of those, right? Because I don't see peak performance. Very low movements on my oscillator, right? Very tight area of pressure here, right? So I'm going to be looking for a possible area of entry, breakout retest because I'm looking at this area, and also look at what do I have here, my other volume zone. All right, so maybe I can go in between something like that, maybe going through in between this and this. All right, and that coincide with maybe this gray line, and then if I'm lucky enough, off I go to previous highs. But if not, here's where things start getting a little bit hairy. We already have a trend line in here, all right? And maybe I can use this other trend line. There we go, trying to catch this, and this, the top. So look at that, area of confluence, right? So let's wrap it up. Let's see what could be. Oh, wait. Some support resistances. Same. Nothing there. All right. So for breakdowns, if we flip in here to the downside, what if we have rejection? If we have rejection, some support, perfect. Breakout retest to your trend line. This is going to be dangerous. And then to our next area right down here. So again, depending, are we going to burst through? Well, then wait for this area, look for a possible short, breakout retest, look for a possible long, right? And off we go. If not, because this also could be a dead cat bounce, what you're going to be looking at is your retracement. And then are we staying above the zero line? How are we looking for peak performance? How is your strength in here? Because right now, our strength is not only pointing downwards, it's also below our zero line in here. So not a strength at all. Not a strength at all. Right? What is our oscillator telling us? If you have your oscillator, oscillator is actually looking not that bad, right? But it's easily doing something like this. So let it define. I believe it needs some cool off. So sweep of the lows would be your best possible bet if you are limited on money entry. All right, so that's what I got, guys. Let's go into the solo cam. All right, and just so you know, finally I have my 3 monitors. I almost finished migrating to my new office. It is basically fantastic. Just so you know, it is. Oh, it doesn't say it, but we were somewhere around 38C in here, and now I have a smaller room. Full pack with AC. That is just plain awesome. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Let's move with cautions today. Friday, tomorrow is going to be a volatile day because Friday we have FOMC data coming out. Let's just look at our tools here. I'm going to be dropping back to you guys 1 second. Let's go our calendar, economic calendar. Let's go check it out. Right, this is our economical calendar. Today we have FOMC minutes. I shared how to create a bot. Remember, you guys also have the same bot in here. If you don't remember, you can go watch the class. What was it? I think chapter 1 or something like that. I also published it on the class on the members chat. Just look out for GPT or something like that, or professor or something. Curtis Hill, I'm from 107. I'm long from 107. Nice. Love it. All right. So just be careful out there, bro. Tomorrow, nothing that big GDP growth. All right. Yeah. But look at that. Friday. Core PCE, personal income, and personal spending. This is the one that I'm most interested on. Just to see the habits of American people, see how they're doing, right? So most likely tomorrow is going to be a volatile day because they're going to be setting up for whatever it's going to be for Friday. Remember, buy the rumor, sell the news, or sell the rumor, buy the news, all right? So that kind of event, be prepared. Remember, it is about analyzing, having your plan A and your plan B. It's not that you're going to become a guru. Well, of course that you can, absolutely, right? But the point is that you are prepared for whatever is coming. So as soon as you see the pattern playing out, you already know what are you going to be preparing for, right? So setting up a short in here, setting up a long in here, have an entry, quick move into stop loss into profits. So that is how you trade the markets, right? You're already prepared for what's coming, and you just let it reveal its hand, and then you attack, all right? So that is basically how we're going to be doing it. Be careful out there, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow. See you guys.